we met with the Minister of Education on the 10th of August, and he gave us all assurances that he's doing everything in his power to ensure that the doors of every school in Trinidad and Tobago is opened on the 5th of September. But we have some concerns. We really have some concerns. You know, we really want to support the Ministry of Education because it is important that children receive an education. And this morning, you know, I really want to send a message to EFCL because we have not been pleased with EFCL in the past, but we are giving this new board a chance to deliver. However, by next week, we will be able to give a judgment on the performance, you know, or the capabilities of EFCL to conduct and manage the volume of repairs that is actually needed across the nation schools.
And just spell out EFCL for me again, thank you.
Education Facilities Company Limited.
No, we had the Minister of Education talking about the fact that contractors are owed, but at the same time working and trying to get stuff done. Do you have, is it general concerns or are there specific concerns with, okay, well, we're saying this school, we're not sure about them, or it's just all schools in general?
Well, we were told that the scope of work for approximately 170 schools were done, and we take it that the minister is really trying, but we cannot accept that schools will not be opened. So that's why we have taken the minister's word, and we are hoping that EFCL, that they are working round the clock to ensure that the schools are opened. But where Five Rivers Secondary and Aranguez North Secondary, where that is concerned, those children have lost tremendous amount of teaching time. Aranguez North Secondary, those children lost about 2 years of teaching. Five Rivers Secondary, they had about, some of the classes had 1 day and so on. And what I found out recently is that some of those children, they were transferred to various schools, and I got a call that some of those children who are now going to Form 2 are performing really badly in maths and English. And the minister alluded to that fact when the results of CSEC came out, that the students did not perform well in maths and English. Now, however, if we want our students to improve and we want the kind of results, we cannot afford to have children staying home for that lengthy period that we have had for this last academic year. So as a national association, you know, we are really concerned about that.
I think sometimes people say, okay, they have no idea what is going on the ground. But at the same time, they say, okay, well, this person went to that school, so most likely that is the reason why they had this result coming out. But at the same time, when you're saying, when you have people missing this amount of school days, nothing good can come out of it.
Nothing good can come out, and we are hoping that, you know, we have started meeting with the Minister of Education on a monthly basis, and we want to applaud him for that, having that open door policy that we once had previous years, so that we will be able to discuss, you know, many issues pertaining to the development of our children. And school repairs and construction of schools are always high on our agenda, and I have the agenda in front of me here, and we spoke about the construction of schools, and I've gotten calls, you know, from, and I met the chairman of EFCL, and he indicated that they will put in prefab at Barrackpore, Videk, New Grant AC, and Granville, I think, RC. So those are some areas that we are hoping that some kind of action will be taking place, that the children could be back in school. However, we have several secondary schools that were built in 2010 that is just standing there. So we would want EFCL to complete those schools so that those children can move in and be more comfortable. I know teachers have been protesting about the conditions of the old school buildings, and those schools cost a lot of money, and it is just standing there. So
what's the reason you say they're built, but at the same time it doesn't sound as though they're finished?
The schools were built by the last, under the last PNM administration, and then the election were called and the government changed. So those schools nothing actually was done to to any of those schools. So I'm hoping that that could be looked at, because those schools were built on the children's play field. And we agreed as a national association to have the schools built on the play field to prevent the children losing teaching time. And, you know, we are not in agreement with that the old school building, what the ministry is saying, and the former minister has said, is that it is costing a lot of money to demolish those schools. So they are not going to get rid of it. But where does the children, where can they play? You know, what about physical education? And we are saying that is something must be looked at. So we are hoping that we can put that on the table at our next meeting with the Minister of Education. However, the issue of flooding, Manzalina Government Primary, whenever it rains, a couple of weeks ago, the whole school was actually flooded out. I got letters from the PTA concerning that. That's a new school. However, there has been seepage of water from the inception of that new school building. That is something we want to be looked at. Also, the issue of furniture, electrical and sewer issues in various schools across the country. So EFCL, they have their work cut out, you know, but we cannot accept that come September 5th, that we will be told that many of those children will have to remain at home. So please, EFCL, I know it's hard economic times. If it is a matter of funding, you know, we are making a strong request to the Minister of Finance to have funds released so that contractors could be paid. And we are also asking contractors to please repair the schools that it could last, because there are a lot of substandard work that continually you have to be repairing all the time. So those are some issues that we have, and we are hoping that as the minister, the technocrats of the ministry listening this morning would understand that the complaints that come to us on a daily basis, it is really heart-wrenching, especially when parents are crying. They are crying out because their children have been missing teaching time. So this morning, the plea to EFCL and to the Ministry of Education is to ensure that all our schools are ready. If we have to take a couple days, you know, please minimize that, minimize it. And one thing this morning, I haven't told the General Council, but our Central Executive is meeting on Saturday. We know we have a local government election is imminent, is soon. Now, if EFCL, we know the purpose EFCL was created, you know, to repair schools as a separate entity. But clearly, EFCL, for the past 5 years, have not proven themselves. And we are saying, if it is that EFCL cannot deliver, then let us rethink school repairs, putting it under local government. So it is something that, you know, we're going to discuss further, and we are hoping that the Prime Minister, that he would listen, because I know that he's a Prime Minister who really is concerned for the children of the nation, as well as our Minister of Education, and that if EFCL cannot deliver, let us not continue in the way we have been going for the last 5 years.
Well, it may stand to reason, well, it seems to stand to reason having people who, in terms of like local governments, saying, okay, this is the area we're controlling, so we have the power to actually deal with this situation, resources notwithstanding, excuse me, because I know that, I'm wondering though, what happened before EFCL?
Under EFCL, I think the Ministry of Education, they were responsible for contracting, for giving contractors the job, you know, to repair schools. I think principals had some say in that as well. Under Dr. Gopi Singh, you know, he highlighted secondary schools were given almost $1 million, many of them, some less depending on the intake of students at the school. And some principals were able to get some of the repairs done for minor things and so on. And the money was actually used in in curriculum areas and so on, science lab and different things. However, the issue of school repairs, the major things, you know, has always been a sore point. While we know for a fact that many of our schools in the country are over 50 years old, the ministry, EFCL knows, the Ministry of Education, they know as well what needs to be done. But contracting or having EFCL, you know, the responsible agency for school repairs, and school is going to be reopened, and we're going to hear out of these 170 schools, the minister really, he's concerned, you know, that, you know, when I listen to the passion, you know, when meeting with the minister, you know, I share that same passion that the children must not be left behind, they must not be home, right? We have said that every child has a right to an education, but here it is, children from Arang West have missed 2 years, and children from Five Rivers, they have missed almost the same amount of time because of that system that was placed in the school, right? Now, when the teachers are disgruntled, they get on the march, they stay home, leaving the children behind. So who are to speak out for the children? So this morning we are the voice for the children, and we are saying we will not accept. And if it is, we really want EFCL to understand that we are the voice for the children, and if the children are missing precious teaching time, we have to take a stand for that.